The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Like I always do, I just try to educate people on life because it's more than just about credit. It's about life. I'm trying to teach people about the game of life, how to hustle and maneuver, whether you got to duplicate yourself, do someone else, or just pay attention to the people that's making moves financially, whether it's through technology, whether it's through the environment. Just pay attention.
Good morning, people, and in this good, beautiful Sunday morning. And today is going to be a very special show. And for all my truck drivers out there, my guys out there that I've known over the years and moved around the country with that follow my show, I'm bringing a very special guest on today. And his name is Corey P. Smith. He's a credit guru, a debt guru, and he's a very good author. I've been following this guy for a while, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the show. And I'm always try to stay in contact with him. How you doing, Corey?
Man, I'm doing okay. I can't complain.
Good.
Blessed. Hoping everybody else is blessed. Especially what we going through right now. But,
yeah. Are you and your family y'all staying pretty safe and out the way?
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm actually my family home in Memphis, man. I'm actually in Miami right now. I've been down here for about a week and a half. I probably got another week down here. I was, had some things going on down here that with Airbnb, and man, a lot of things happen with this pandemic, so
right.
It kind of put a lot of my little properties I had down here, man, on hold. Everything got canceled, so
right.
I had to come down here and regroup.
I was going to ask you. About that. How was this affecting your business as far as being a businessman and moving around? People are taking a hit in the market. All over the country.
Right.
So how are you affected by it? I mean, is it taking you have enough overhead and income put up to where you good?
Oh yeah, man. Me and my family was good in terms of having money in reserve. I think the business that got hit the most, as far as I'm concerned, is the property that I have. The Airbnb property that I have, like in Miami, in Atlanta, and I got one in Phoenix, and I got two in LA. So I lost a lot of money because all the bookings that I had, all the way up, I had bookings all the way up to the beginning of July,
wow.
And all of them got canceled. So I got affected the most that way through the Airbnb.
Okay.
The ones that, especially the ones that I don't actually own, I still have, rent that has to be paid on them. So, and the ones down, in Miami, they pretty steep because they I try to put the properties where I know that they gonna rent out.
Right.
So that's the only thing. Other than that, my book sales and anything that I'm doing online, they actually picked up. I don't know if people being at home attributed to that, but
yeah,
my book sales, those picked up, believe it or not. So, sold a couple of houses. Got one house that I'm supposed to close that deal in terms of selling it at the end of this month. So, I mean, everything's still smooth. Just gonna see my way through it.
Okay.
Not gonna panic.
That's right.
This kind of resembles what took place in late 07, 08 when the market crashed with the houses and the economy is taking a dive. I don't think we've seen the biggest dive yet, but I think in the months to come, we'll really see how this whole pandemic thing affected our economy and people that need, money the most, the ones that's trying to survive. I think that's when we'll really see the effects of it.
That's right. Now, the housing bubble the housing burst is coming, because everything in America, and I tell my listeners all the time that it's a delayed effect.
Right.
Things that's happening now, it won't take effect for maybe 2 or 3 more months, and things that the president has done over the last 3 years, it's not going to really hit home until the next president, like Barack Obama. He started a economy on the upslope, and a lot of people on the right felt as if he was going too slow. And then when Trump got in office, he started taking credit for a good economy, but people don't realize is that economy that he was taking credit for and ruining was basically Obama's economy. And now I fear that with this coronavirus, people aren't really going to feel the effects of this until after he's gone. And then they're going to try to blame the next president of a failed presidency, thinking that this man was just so great in doing what he was doing. What is your take on that? I mean, because you in the real estate now, and I know it's going to be a hard battle for you to get rent, to get your Airbnb off the ground, because people are scared to move around.
Right. Like for me, man, if you listen to me or heard any of my interviews, I never really put too much energy into, like who's in the White House. Because I just look at it like it's just a dog and pony show at the end of the day, and people have to look after their own. It might sound cliche, but Trump, believe it or not, some of the things that he did do were good in terms of business, in terms of a person trying to get funding for their business. Believe it or not, you just have to take a guy like him. You have to take what he says for what it is. If it's a joke, then it's a joke. But if it's some meaning behind a joke, or some meaning behind some sarcastic remarks, or a tweet, or whatever you think it might be, then I pay attention to things like that. I mean, I honestly can't say, like, to me, I was looking at Trump, some of the things that he was saying when it came to business and small businesses. I looked at it like, me and some of the guys in my circle, he was like, hey, come get this money. Mm-hmm. And the only requirement you got to have is good credit, believe it or not.
Okay.
And we went and got the money. The other stuff, man, I don't put anything into it, because at the end of the day, Trump doesn't control. If people really think Trump can say, hey, go bomb this place or go do this, and it's automatically done, then you sadly mistaken. It's almost like when I told my little brother this once, he was talking about voting in the election, and asking me my thoughts on it, and I just told him, I said, I'm gonna put it to you like this: do you think when Walmart or one of these big corporations, they go to change CEOs or shift, they go get the opinions of the votes of the employees? Mm-hmm. And I just told him like that. I said, you have to look at the election, you have to look at the this whole thing about who's in office. You got to look at it that way.
Okay.
Like, Marcus, I'm a hustler, man. So
yeah, not feed.
I got tunnel vision. So certain things, man, I don't pay attention to. I don't even, because I know how I've been moving. Whether Obama's in office or Trump was in office or Clinton was in office, it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like, I always gonna move the same way. Right. So it's like, it's almost like if you ask me, and this ain't even on no arrogance. I'm not being arrogant, because when I didn't have no money, I was the same way. If you ask me what a gas price is, I couldn't tell you how much milk or some type of grocery cost. I couldn't tell you, or you know,
Right.
I just knew. I knew what my plan was.
You saying you had tunnel vision on as far as making money in business, and that's another thing I want to get into in this first segment. And don't worry about the time. That's one thing about being your own business owner, that you know, don't know Democratic or Republican Party run this show. It's you know, so we're not gonna. I usually keep my show to an hour, but if I run an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's fine. Cause I got man, I want to pick your brain. Cause I've been looking at your videos. I haven't had a chance to get one of the books. The main book I want to get is the business credit book. What's
the Unbreakable Laws of Business.
Yes.
Okay.
I just got my Dun & Bradstreet number about 3 weeks ago, and I've been knowing about it because I had a business in the late when the millennial hit. I had a hair salon, and I had got a Dun & Bradstreet number then. But this time around, for my show and for my internet marketing business, I held off on it because it was online. It wasn't a concrete business, you know. But I still needed to have it just in case I want to sell some products, maybe some mugs or T-shirts or stuff. But I'm gonna get into that later on. I want you to build a rapport with my audience, and I want to talk about your past, the influences you had to get you moving in this direction. Because you know, now that we know each other, because see, I've always felt that if you want to be about something, you be around people that's trying to make moves and be about something. You know, you want to be a bum, you're going to be around bums. You know, you want to stand around that trash can that's burning and sipping on whiskey, that's what you're going to be. You know, so I'm always have you on the show if you want to come on, man. Even if it's something that you just want to talk about that had nothing to do with credit. You know, you always welcome to come on here. But as far as your past, cause see, I used to stay in Memphis, and I used to catch the 20, the Winchester downtown. I matter of fact, I'm thinking you might be kin to one of my partners, Charles Smith. He had got dreadlocks from Smoky City, from Hearst Village. You know.
Yeah, I know Charles, but we're not related.
Okay.
I know you're talking about.
Okay. He used to flip the red card. Had to pee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a small country, man. It's a small world, man. You know. So it's like he's a hustler, and I'm knowing by how you moving and how I've been watching you. Because believe me, I done put in 5 or 6 hours of sitting down watching your videos that you did other interviews with, and I can tell that you come from a hustling background that's focused on, man, I got to get paid, and that's good. But is it a transition from put it this way, the more people that I see become real successful are people like Trump, are people like you, that have, sometimes people like me, because I'm trying my best to be, but people who have come from the street to where they can recognize street game, pull themselves off the street, and then become wealthy or successful businessmen in the business world because they already got that game from that. So speak on your past. Speak on your past a little bit. Where you from originally? How many kids you got? You know, are you married? And schools you've been to? You know, speak on your past a little bit.
Right. Well, I was born in Memphis. I lived in Memphis up until the time I was about 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And then when I was about 9, I ended up going to live with my father. He was in the Marines, so I became a military brat, stationed in San Diego for a minute.
Okay, I was too, man. Military brat, Fort Bragg. That's why I stayed.
Yeah. We was out in Camp Pendleton.
Okay.
Over in Okinawa, short period of time, and then once my dad got out, he got a job at Martin Marietta Lockheed as a buyer in Orlando. So we kind of settled there. I went to John F. Kennedy Middle School for a minute, and that was in Rockledge, Florida, like a little bit outside of Orlando. I graduated high school in Ocala, Florida.
Okay.
And once I graduated high school, there was a period in between there where I kind of like, you know, I don't talk about it too much, but I ended up, man, getting into a little bit of trouble. I went to jail. I did probably about 11 months. And when I got out, my high school coach got me a basketball tryout at a community college in Cleveland.
Okay.
So I went there, went to Cleveland for 2 years, and then that's how I ended up back in Memphis, because I left Cleveland State, and I ended up moving back to Memphis, transferred to the University of Memphis, and was still trying to find my way, still, hustling and trying to do the right thing at the same time. And
right.
At that point, I met my wife at the University of Memphis, and ended up getting, married and having I have three daughters. If you listen to some of my interviews, I talk about how I even got into the whole credit thing, where it became a passion, because once I hooked up with my wife, we were struggling.
Yeah, you said, I heard you say you woke up one day, you was like, man, baby, we got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I can relate to that, brother. Trust me. I woke up one day, I was in Jackson, Tennessee, man. I woke up one day, I had custody of my girls, and I went downstairs. We were staying in the project, Lincoln Courts. And I went downstairs, and I had a pack of bologna. I had just got laid off about 2 weeks ago at my job. I went downstairs, I had a pack of bologna, some cheese, and one pack of meat in the freezer. I said, man, I got to do something. And then when you got responsibility like that, you can't necessarily just jump out there to crime. Because like when I was single, it was no thing to gang bang, sell a little something here and there, But when I got custody, it was like my whole world changed. It was like, man, it's time to make moves different. And a lot of men don't understand that when they have custody of their kids, or they married with kids. A lot of single men who out here hustling and getting it that way, they look at you like, man, I can't live like that. I'm like, I got to. You know what I'm saying? Jail ain't gonna take no pity on you having no kids. They gonna put you in jail.
Exactly. That's a fact. And it's something I had to learn, because I took a lot of risk in the beginning, and believe it or not, I wasn't taking my family to consideration, like looking, not realizing like whatever risk I take, they take.
That's right.
And it wasn't always, I ain't talking about where it was like I'm out here doing crime like that. It was just, putting money into things that probably wasn't gonna pan out. So, and I couldn't afford to lose, certain amounts of money. And when I did that, we did lose, and it took a toll on my family, took a toll on my marriage. So I had to learn that when you have those responsibilities, like, you have to be mindful
That's right.
of the risk that you do take, because it is going to affect the people that depend on you. So
that's right.
And that's a part of living and learning and trying to figure out, like, how do I get to the next level, because for the most part, man, people don't know how, and that's why I try to provide whatever information that I can, to help people. Like, hey, this is what I did.
That's right. That's right. Now, I got two parts of my show. I do the Daily Read, which is more of a political show, where I talk about trending things, politics, and I talk about sports. I have a show that's an off branch of this show called Hidden Gems of America. And right now, you are on Hidden Gems of America because I consider you that. I have only one other person that I have put on Hidden Gems of America before the coronavirus hit. And what I usually do is go out to these people's location. I talk to them, see what kind of charity work they're doing. My first interviewee was a modeling. She's a modeling coach. She was a model. Her name is Jasmine Armstrong, and she's out of Columbia, Tennessee. And I was in their studio where she was teaching younger girls how to model. She came off the modeling circuit, and now she's local now. And and you're my second one, and I got to do things different during the coronavirus because you can't. It's like you just can't go out to people's location like that anymore. So now I got to do online interviews or over the phone and things like that. But this is my second show of Hidden Gems of America, man. So I thank you. I'm glad you're here, man. And I got 4 topics. And there's going to be subtopics up under them I want to discuss with you.
Okay.
One of them is credit. The second topic is debt, business, and then we're gonna save the self-publishing or publishing your books for last because I've written 8 books and I have not gotten that one of them published. I don't know why. I can't. I don't know. I'll talk to you about that. But I'm gonna get the main stuff out the way first. Okay, so I'm finna jump into this first commercial break, and then when I get back, we'll start off with one of these topics.
All right, no doubt.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
I come from a place that I had to learn how to be a pirate. I had to learn how to take things legally, so to speak. The educational system that I was put into, it absolutely gave me no tools to make it in real life. We had no resources. I often hear cats talk about if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Hell, I say if you can make it where I'm from, Memphis, you can make it anywhere.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, good people, we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I'm joined here today by Corey P. Smith. Corey P. Smith, people, and he's gonna give it to us live, people, about how to build credit, how to avoid this debt, and get out of this debt. We're gonna talk about business. We got a whole host and range of topics to talk about. And for anybody that's on my live feed, send me your questions in to me. Now, the first topic, Corey, the first topic I want to talk about is debt. And the reason why I want to start with that because I was listening to one of your interviews and how you was talking about how, you woke up and you talked to your wife and you was like, we need to get our debt situation handled. And let's talk about, because one thing up under that I didn't know nothing about was the whole notarized affidavit. Now, that was new to me. Now the other route that I was trying to take was cleaning up my credit through these call in, pay $90 a month, and and I always thought they were scams. I always thought they were scams. Speak on that for me. How to get started with that?
Well, the whole affidavit process, believe it or not, man, that's something that I actually made up.
Okay.
Because I was trying to figure out at the time how to take my student loans off, and I was trying a lot of things. And I actually I was watching some show on TV. It was like one of these law shows, and the guy was talking about affidavits, and he was just saying an affidavit had to always be answered.
Okay.
And from that point, I really started researching affidavits. And then I said, you know what? Anything I send into the credit bureaus now, I'm going to turn into an affidavit.
Okay.
So I coupled that with sections of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Like we all know, like, 609. A lot of people got 609 letters and things like that. So I just
Now the
created
609. Now the 609 letter is them telling you that you have to pay this.
Nah, the 609 letter is a section of the Fair Credit Reporting Act where basically you are requesting, like, through that particular section of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you are requesting that the credit bureaus provide proof that the debt actually belongs to you.
Okay.
Because, and they're not really doing that. Like, when you talk about you paid like $99 to this company or that company, and they're doing basic disputes saying, hey, this is not mine. And even I've learned over time from me dealing with people, like, you don't get that. And it doesn't always mean that they scamming you. They're just giving you the basic. Like, you paying them for your laziness.
Okay, so you can do it yourself. Basically, what they doing is that you paying them to do what you're teaching to do yourself.
Yeah, you paying them to do a simple dispute. You can do that on your own. But I just began to take it to a whole nother level with the affidavits.
Okay.
Of course, we know about the police reports, but the police reports have been burnt up.
Okay.
A lot, especially with Equifax. And what I mean burnt up, so many people using the police reports now to clean up credit that, credit bureaus, they on to it. And they still work, but even with, even if you want them to work, you got to do certain things. Like, now you have to, if you're going to submit a police report saying something is the result of identity theft, you don't want the report to be no more than 90 days old.
Okay.
You want to include a copy of your utility bill, copy of your driver's license matching, the addresses on your credit report.
Okay.
And I also want to attach a copy of the Fair Credit Reporting Act outlining, it's also a portion of the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act. You want to attach a little small copy of that to your dispute as well when you sending all of that in.
Okay.
So once you have all of that in place and then you send it, your chances are much better of removing it, especially with Equifax when you're using the police report. So, but like I said, the police report, people burning it up.
Okay. So they're not just accepting it wholeheartedly, the police report, no more. They making it harder, especially for poor people who sometimes don't want to deal with the police, and then sometimes they don't have the funds to go running around here getting this copied and getting that copied. They're basically putting roadblocks in your way with the police report.
Yeah, especially Equifax. I mean, if you're a person that's untouched, and what I mean by that, let's say, like, if I go deal with somebody and they've never really done anything to their credit in terms of cleaning it up, they might have a few things, but they've never submitted like an identity theft report or did anything. They good. They more than likely good.
Okay.
They could do the whole police report trick, and everything will get deleted. Because that's the whole thing when it comes to using a police report to dispute items on your credit report. Is they, by law, they're legally supposed to take it out, block it within 4 days of receiving the report.
Okay.
A lot of times they don't do that if you're a person that's, got a lot of activity that is taking place in terms of you disputing things on your credit report.
So now, So now the better way is what you saying is to go through the affidavit way, because from what I've learned from you is that the affidavit is basically you sending one party the affidavit, and that party is telling you no, we don't recognize this, and then you getting that copy and sending it back to the people, telling them, look, I didn't make no dealings with you. They bought the credit. They bought the paperwork that says we have these many people that owe us money. You pay us this much, we'll give you this list, and you can collect whatever debt you can get out of these people. So
you speaking in terms of like collection agencies, yeah. Anytime you're dealing with a collection agency, if they reach out, you want to respond to them, and you want to respond to them in a way, like I always say, you want to deny it, and then you want to back that up by sending them in, an affidavit of denial.
okay.
I put a copy of that in the book. People can take that and just
They can
create a letter, make it fit.
it's like a template.
Situation.
Right, it's like a template. Okay.
Right.
Okay, good.
So
good.
you always want to do that, like, even before people was even talking about not, paying a collection agency. I've always believed that. I ain't never believed in paying a collection agency. Far back as 2001, I wasn't paying no collection agency. So
Right.
you got to go with them like that always.
Because you never entered into an agreement or a business with them. These people, they went and paid their money basically just to get a list.
That's it.
Okay.
They just bought it. It's no different than if you was trying to start some type of finance company to do something, like you can buy collateral debt from banks. So it's the same thing. No different than a collection agency buying debt.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you saying that a normal person can start up a collection agency business and just go to a bank and buy out a list of people that owe them. But they have to be certified. They have to be.
You gotta have legit. You gotta have a business. But even when you buying debt, that comes from creditors. When I talk about it, buying collateral debt from banks, because they sell it. Banks sell bad debt.
Wow.
So yeah, you can do that, and you could. By any time a collection agency buys debt, it also increases their portfolio in terms of the net worth as well.
Wow.
They can in turn around and utilize it to go and get money themselves. Get loans themselves. A lot of people don't know that.
Now I wonder how that's going to work. I have a partner of mine who's asking about the title loans. When they turn it over to a collection, do they turn over your title too? Because he's saying that a person called him and told him that if he pays the debt off, he can still get his title back, but it done been transferred over to the collection people. So
a lot of times, I don't want to talk too, like, I don't know if you ever heard of like a factoring company or anything like that. Well, let me say this, a lot of times it's still the title company.
Okay.
You follow me?
Right.
It's not per se, this is a collection agency. It's still the title company.
Right. It's just maybe the main branch or something, or the parent company.
Yeah, or like I said, it's still them. They own the title.
Oh, okay.
And they've hired somebody to collect, but they ain't got rid of the title.
Oh, okay.
And each situation is different as well, depending on how much they loaned you on your title. It just depends.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now I want to get the correct system here, or the correct order this needs to go into, because you can't send these letters off and I want y'all people to understand this, unless you have correct addresses of where you need to send them to. So the correct order would be to get your credit report first. Am I correct? Is that
Right.
because that would have the addresses of
Right.
Okay. Now, is there a good place like for the people out there that want to find their up to date proper credit report that has all of the addresses of people they owe on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a number of there's all types of companies now you can use. I mean, I always Credit Check Total, which is owned by Experience. They're very good, very accurate.
Okay.
And, they charge you like $1. Yeah, they'll charge you like $1. Like I like them. They're one of the most accurate ones.
Okay.
And of course, you have Credit Karma, you got Credit Wise, you got a lot of them. I'm still a firm believer in. I call the credit bureau's 1-800 number because I want the physical credit reports. I want them in my hand, so
Right.
I want to work them both ways. I want to be working on my credit report, my preparing my credit online, and I also want to be repairing my credit through the U.S. Postal Service.
Oh, okay.
So I want to, I'm gonna hit them both ways. And like I said, everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
Some people got a ton of things on their credit, and some people only got a few things where it's not gonna take no time at all. And they're gonna get it off. They don't even have to do an affidavit, a police report, or nothing. They just simply do a dispute is not mine, and it comes off.
Okay.
And those are people who normally don't have a lot of activity on their credit report.
But now the debt, like say if somebody did get something off of their credit report, they still owe that money though. I think I heard something like like a student loan. If it's removed, it might enhance your credit score, but you still basically on the hook for that money. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a student loan, yeah,
Okay.
you're on the hook for the money. But anybody else, like I'm just keeping it. I'm keeping it 100. Like they ain't getting nothing. Like you're not getting nothing from me if you're a credit card company or whoever outside the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I owe you, you would never get it.
Okay.
And a lot of people, that live by certain moral standards, they'll be like, well, you couldn't afford it, you shouldn't have got it. And those are people, to me, they really don't understand what's going on or what's taking place behind closed doors and how they be in control, in this economy through politics.
Right.
So I don't you take student loans off, you still owe the debt.
Okay.
Now,
But
anybody else, you don't.
Now, okay, so see that's going to lead into the next topic we're going to talk about when we come back off this next commercial break. But basically, because I want to talk about trade lines, and people don't have to get that old debt removed to enhance your credit report because of trade lines. And
When you say old debt, you mean bad debt or good debt on your credit report?
now, see that's the key. See that's why I like talking to people like you, man, because how can you know the difference between good debt and bad debt?
Well, bad debt is simply like if it's still on your credit report, even if it's closed, and you had late pay.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's charged off, that's bad debt.
Okay.
You don't want to leave it on your credit.
Okay, I
You don't
got
even
you.
want to leave it on your credit. I've seen people's credit report where it's an account on there, it's been closed, it's no late, but it's over the limit. And they wasn't realizing that still affected their credit score. And they were thinking, well, it's closed. It's not being calculated, but in fact it is.
Okay.
So even in that situation, that's bad debt. You want to remove it, but good debt would be his clothes paid off, zero balance, no lace. Yeah, you want to keep that.
Okay. So you don't want to get that taken off. Yeah, you want to get that
Nah.
taken off. Okay. Man, this is like gold here, man. This is gold. You know how you from Memphis, man. You know how they say, man, that meant to be told but sold. But I'm glad you giving it though, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we as minorities are falling behind in the economic scale when it comes to any other race in this country. Even Indian people come here, man, and open up corner stores. We've been here 366 years, man, and half of us don't even know how to even open up the corner store. And part of it's racially, but not all of it. You know, I think some people just get caught up in wanting to work for somebody else. They don't want to deal with the tax burden of putting in the paperwork and going down there. And you know, I love it. You know, I love it.
Most people, Marcus, they just fearful, man. And they don't want to put in the work.
That's right.
They happy and they content with me. Believe it or not, like I talked about in my book, Conspiracy of Credit, and the majority of people want to be told what to do.
Okay.
Because, you know, they comfortable. You know, they don't have to be afraid if somebody else taking the lead. It's almost like, for me, I had to tell my wife this before. I said, you think at times I don't get afraid? Well, I used to, I don't now. But it was one point, but yeah, I got afraid. I was wondering, man, is this going to work? Am I going to make it, this and that?
Right.
But I couldn't tell her that.
Right.
I couldn't, because if I did that, then she was going to panic, and then it was going to trickle down to my kids. But people are more comfortable with allowing other people to dictate how their life is going to go.
Right.
Like I'm more comfortable going in, working 8 hours, working 10 hours, and you giving me a paycheck. I'm gonna let you make all decisions. I'm gonna let you worry about whether this company is gonna make it or fail. All of that, like, and you know, I'm just not one of those type people.
Right. Yeah, me neither, man. I cause you know, even I had to learn a new thing with this whole social media world we living in. As far as I got apps out here now that I'm trying to start making money on. I done developed 2 workout apps. I'm doing podcasting. I mean, it's just, but all of this is like new to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm a truck driver and a hustler. But now that I'm breaking off into this whole media marketing thing, it's crazy. You know, and I see why these youngsters, man, living in their mama basement, making all this money. 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, man, they put a YouTube video that goes viral, man. Next you know, they got thousands of dollars. And it's crazy. But I mean, it's just the generation we living in. If you don't get with it, man, you will fall behind. You know, but I'm finna take this next commercial break, and when we get back, we're gonna move into credit. Because I wanna get into this, because this is serious. This is where I'm at now, as far as the Dun & Bradstreet and the differences between the 3 personal credit reporting agencies. So when we get back, we're gonna get into that.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Think about that word fear, and I just see how it controls so many people. People afraid to lose their job, people afraid to lose their houses, people afraid to lose the material things. And I always say people are controlled by things they are afraid to lose. They're afraid to take risk. And you have to ask yourself, like, to live the best possible life that you can live, how much is it worth to you? I know for me, it's worth all the time, all the sleep that I don't get, because I want to provide for my family. You know, just thinking about my grandparents, my grandmothers, born into poverty and dying in poverty.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, and we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I still have on the line with me Corey P. Smith. Corey P. Smith, people. If y'all have any questions for him, please text them to me. On this segment, we're going to get into credit because I'm not sure what you need to do first, cleaning up your debt or the credit first. Because I've heard from people who have tried to sell me trade lines that the debt part it matters, but you can still get authentic trade lines on top of that debt to make that irrelevant. So speak about the whole trade line thing. And is this legitimate?
Yeah, I mean, buying trade lines, that is a legitimate practice in terms of putting it on top of debt. Like I said, it depends on whether the debt is good or bad. I mean, it's not going to help you if you put it on top of negative debt that you have, meaning like this thing that's reporting on your credit report.
Okay.
That are negative items, like you going to buy some trade lines, that's not going to help.
Okay. See, that was never told to me. Okay.
Yeah, my thing is this, man, at the end of the day, Marcus, what everybody has to do when it comes to talking about repairing their credit, you have to find your starting point. And finding your starting point is teaching yourself, doing the research yourself.
Okay.
And I say that because of this. If you don't know, I could tell you anything. It's almost like a mechanic,
right?
That you take your car to, and he fixes your car, and he can tell you all of these things are wrong with your car, and he fixes it, and you're like, wow, man, he the best, he this and he that. When really the only thing that was wrong with your car is that you needed the oil change and spark plugs. It wasn't that you needed some engine work, or you needed a upper control arm, or things like that.
Right.
So it works the same way when we're talking about credit. Like I could tell you, if you don't know how to look at your credit report and really analyze where you're at, analyze it enough to know where you're at in terms of credit worthiness, like you're still defeating the purpose. Because anybody can fix it, but you're still like uneducated when it comes to credit.
And you might fall back. You might fall back into those same practices and mess it up.
You will.
Okay.
You will fall back. You will fall back because you have to, at the end of the day, like if you're able to get any money by utilizing your credit, you still have to understand money to the point of like, how do I maximize it? What's my next move? And most people don't know how to do that. And that's why I always talk about, you have motivational speakers, you have preachers, you have a lot of guys that sell products online or sell you motivational pieces online, but they just selling you hope. And I say they sell you hope with no instructions. Like I can hype you up, but what's next?
Right.
What's the next? I'm gonna say this. Airbnb, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got Airbnb problems. right?
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it all the way stacked. When CPN numbers were really popping, where I was able to get money with them, but it was on the low end, 65,000 a pop off a CPN number. That was good, and then it shifted because the credit bureaus and other companies started putting software in place to detect, oh, this is not a true Social Security number. I was taking, and this still works if you do it right. I was taking CPN numbers, going to get apartments, going to get furniture accounts, and that's how I was building my whole Airbnb empire.
Right.
I was still using my own name. I was still using my own date of birth, the whole nine. Or even if I use somebody else, that's how I was building my Airbnb empire off CPNs. I knew that the risk was low for me because if anything happened, it wasn't on my real social.
Right.
I'm using that as an example. Is if I tell you, oh, this is what I have, now I'm telling you that's how I did it.
Right.
Even going to the furniture stores, I'm getting a furniture account under CPN, and I'm furnishing all of my units, and I'm building that way. So I'm building momentum. Now I'm getting cash. So now I'm taking that cash, and I'm able to do other things that I want to do, and I'm doing this under my social.
Right.
So I'm building what I look like on paper under my real social. So that's what I mean when I say people selling you hope with no instructions. I could sell you hope, but I'm gonna tell you, hey, this how I did it.
Right. And I've always told people on my show to stay away from them CPNs. And now this is where I want to have a serious discussion with you at. The reason why I was telling them that is because I look at CPNs as a way for millionaires, congressmen, people who have major, like Bill Gates type people, a way to hide themselves from the paparazzi and people trying to do something to them. If you're working at McDonald's, you shouldn't have no CPN. And that's what I was basically telling my people. But I want you to go more in depth into that because from what I've learned and studied on CPN, because I did want to get one. Number one, they're expensive, so that means they got them for the risk.
Listen.
Okay, let me hear.
Let me tell you this. They're not expensive.
Okay.
You can build them out two ways yourself.
But hold on. I heard that you could get them off dead people too, which is scammers out there. Okay.
Listen. So, like, if you want to build a randomized CPN number, people that own the site they go to is a site called Decoding Social Security Numbers by Stephen Morris.
Okay.
That's how they build randomized CPN numbers that you can use.
Okay.
Then there's another way where you can build a number where it's a verified number, where they can put that's a whole nother topic. But my point is, it costs nothing to do this. It's like I say, it's a matter of you learning how to do it, really seeking out the information. And in terms of like rich people, they don't hide behind CPN numbers. They don't have to.
Okay.
They're able to hide behind money and corporations. They're able to hide behind accountants and lawyers.
Right.
And when their information is stored within the credit bureaus, they are considered what's called high data clients.
Ah, okay.
So they're paid attention to more. So, a lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I could easily tell you, hey Marcus, I can give you a CPN number. It's gonna cost you $300, $400, and get right on my computer and build it in 5 minutes
for free
and sell it to you for free.
Wow. And they can actually use it.
Yeah, you can actually use it.
Wow.
I mean, it's slowed down a lot, like I said, because they don't work the way they used to. You were able to get a lot of money the same way as you would if you were using your real social. If you took a CPN CPN number, and you built it up.
Okay.
You were able to go to banks. Like certain banks, you're not going to them with no CPN number now.
Right.
They own
Right.
it. But
Okay.
they work for other things. You know, they don't even work for going to buy cars like they used to.
Okay.
They still work for certain dealerships. You're not going to. They're going to catch you.
Okay. What's okay? Now, what's the difference? Okay, now, is there any difference between the personal credit bureaus and the only business credit bureau I know of right now is Dun & Bradstreet? Well, the actual one that everybody's talking about. I think there's like one or two more. But what's the difference on the personal side? The Equifax, the Experian, and TransUnion, and why does companies use one or more other than which one is the best? Because I usually always see, I think TransUnion on a lot of transactions, and sometimes I see Equifax. I hardly ever see Experian. So can you tell me the difference and why do companies use one more than the other?
Well, the difference is, the difference is this, okay? On the personal side, you do have Experian, you have TransUnion, and you have Equifax. Those are the big three. Then you have the fourth one, which is a Novus, but, you know, a lot of people don't use a Novus. And then when you go in, if you go in car shopping, you will see a lot of these finance companies using SageStream now.
I didn't know there was two others.
Yeah, so those are they use those on the personal side. In terms of the business side, believe it or not, yeah, you do have Dun & Bradstreet, which is the largest database of businesses in the world.
Okay.
But you also have Equifax business, and you have Experian.
Oh wow.
And
So they have a
believe it or
business
not,
branch. They have a business branch.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have a business branch. And even when we get down to it, a lot of the banks and a lot of the lenders, they know Dun & Bradstreet has been compromised over the years. So sometimes they'll put more weight on and looking at your Equifax business report or your Experian more so than Dun & Bradstreet.
Okay.
Because they know you could play with Dun & Bradstreet, and that's another conversation, but you could play with it.
Okay. Yeah, because I went ahead and got mine, and I immediately started getting emails within 2 days on all kinds of stuff. I think it was mostly coming from them. I wouldn't when I started my podcast, my radio internet my show. I wasn't getting hardly no emails coming from businesses and things of that nature. But as soon as I got that done, the Bradstreet number, man, it's almost like they sent my information out to people. It's not a day go by I don't get 5 or 6.
Did you get a business license?
Yeah.
That's why you got a lot of. That's why you got more mail than Dun & Bradstreet, believe it or not.
Okay. So it's not. It really wasn't coming from them, on the personal side. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, the whole thing with the EINs and your social. Now, when you're using your EIN to get this credit, is it proper for somebody to ask you for your social, or is it legal? Put it that way. Is it legal?
Yes, I mean it's perfectly legal. You mean in terms of when you use your EIN number,
Right.
to obtain corporate funding?
Right. Do you have to give them your social?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
If you don't, then they're not going to deal with you. But here's the thing. You have to position your company in a manner where you can make demands. And what I mean by that, you need to build your company profile out to make sure you have corporate trade lines, to make sure you have taxes that have been filed, make sure that you have a few deposits going in the bank over the last 45 to 60 days.
Okay.
So now you somewhat can make certain types of demands. Like when you see people advertising and saying, hey, we can get you $250,000 in corporate funding, most of the time it's not cash, there's credit cards. So it's a little bit easier to do that. But if I'm talking about going to a bank, getting $250,000, if my company is not built out the way that it needs to be built out, of course they're going to want me to personally guarantee their company.
What with your personal social?
Yeah, with your personal social. But if I go and I'm asking for money under my company and they can pull my IRS transcripts for Corey P. Smith Consulting, or let's say a company I got, BTR Technologies, if they can pull the IRS transcripts and they see, oh, this company has made over the last 2 years, it has averaged $3 million a year. This company has already played with $500,000 in corporate trade lines. This company has, they see where I'm a real company, whether I'm not, whether I am or not, whether I got a physical location, I have a phone line and a website and all of that.
Right.
And I made sure that I had some type of relationship with the bank over the last 60 days where I'm making consistent deposits. They don't even have to be a lot, but I've made deposits. So now I can ask them for money. I can ask them for $250,000.
Right.
Even if they don't give me, they might give me $125,000. Okay, they give me $125,000. Now I got some money to play with. I can go play with another company, and I can take $50,000 of their money and go sit it in a bank account under another company, and then come back and ask them for $150,000 or whatever in 30 days or 45 days, and guess what? They're gonna give it to me.
Right. And that's how you climb the scale and build wealth, because you could take that money, take half of that, pay off the first one, which makes your credit even better with them. And man, that's the game. That's the game.
Right.
That's the game. And the thing about it is, breaking into it, like you were saying, you gotta get out here and do it. It can't be outsourced. You have to be the one to make the moves. And I mean, it's something, man. And dealing with the whole business thing. I was looking at something you said about the sovereign, and I wanna talk about why it's not good to be the sovereign. Try to be a sovereign citizen. First of all, I want to know if it's true or not, because I run across a lot of people, especially in the black community, talking about they done hooked up with some white people talking about they sovereign, man, and they trying to be sovereign citizens, give up their Social Security card, and I've been looking at these people like, they get radicalized. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about that. Let me take one more commercial break, man. When we come back, we're gonna talk about this whole business with the sovereign citizens of America type deal. All right.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Laws of business credit. Another book released. Y'all think it's a game. I be trying to tell y'all. Can't do it for you. Black people, start reading, change your life. If I can do it, any of y'all can do it. Got my brother right here, Arthur, Corey P. Smith. Good man, good heart. Teach you whatever you need to know. Go online. You can YouTube him. Corey Smith, he dropping bombs on YouTube. I learned so much off YouTube doing it myself, getting items deleted off of my credit. It's no game.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. And today's guest, again, is Corey P. Smith. Corey P. Smith, people. And we're going to move into this business about sovereign citizen. I've been hearing a lot about this sovereign citizen for years now. And I've always thought that it was something that people who done got in trouble or done got into debt, they trying to find their way out of something, and they latch on to this stuff. I don't know what it's about, but today we're gonna find out. All right, Corey, give me your honest opinion on it and what you know about it, man, because I've been wanting to know about this for a while.
I tested the waters with, the whole being a sovereign citizen thing, like back in 2006, 2005, and I'd be like, wow, why even engage it?
Yeah.
You're not gonna win. It may be real. I don't know.
Okay.
But if it is real, it's on a level way beyond any of us could ever attain.
Okay. Now when you say that, you mean minorities, or you just saying us as people in general?
People in general. Like, you're not, man, playing at the highest level is just a money game. It ain't about being sovereign. It's about a money game. Like I told you when we got on the phone, like, listen, right now, I'm on the phone with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Miami. I'm on the 28th floor. I'm in a unit where I'm able to look out. I can see the ocean. I can see the intercoastal waters. I can see all these high-rise buildings. But guess what? I couldn't have gotten here by creating or trying to fight a war that I had no money or no resources to win.
Right.
So I decided to go and fight another war where I could learn, because at the end of the day, information is the most powerful thing when it comes to trying to conquer anything, even in war.
Okay.
So my information, I was paying attention. Like, for me, if I didn't have the cash, that's why I was so big on credit. Well, credit got me to the cash.
Okay.
And once credit got me to the cash, I don't even have to depend on credit like that anymore.
Right.
I don't even have to use it like that. I do, but I don't have to. So when we talking about somebody talking about I'm sovereign and I'm giving you my social security number back and I'm doing this, you're gonna lose.
Right. I've always thought also that they really don't have to keep you in this country. I don't understand. If you give up your social security card and you claim you a sovereign citizen, that means you have a choice to go anywhere in the world you want to go. If you get to acting up, they might be like, man, look, you gave up your citizenship. I mean,
they're not gonna do that. When they see people like that, those people really a joke to them.
Okay.
And they handle them accordingly. Like, I know a guy right now. This is no lie. He's sitting in jail. They gave him 17 years. 17 years for playing the sovereign game. I know another girl. They gave her 13 years.
Right.
For playing the sovereign game.
Right. Now the guy you know, is he from Memphis?
He's from Memphis.
We might be talking about the same person, man. Because I'm telling you, Memphis
He's still locked up. He's still locked up.
Matter of fact, the guy I'm talking about, he had a Fed charge about 10 years ago that he was fighting. He was in the diamond business. He was getting some diamonds out of Africa. And he was telling me about this sovereign thing, man. He was so convinced. He was sounding convincing. I was like, man, I ain't messing with you.
Right.
But we might be talking about the same person. But I'm just saying, man, it's like I think people don't realize how they get in tough economic times, man. They resort to all kinds of foolishness. Like right now, what's going on with the white population? Okay, it's like racism been here, but it done exploded since this man's been in office. And I think it's because they feel like they've been left behind, but they're really not. Minorities still make up we're still lower on the economic scale as a whole than them. It's the perception that they having that minorities, blacks and Hispanics, are taking something from them. And I feel that's what's going on with the blacks in this country that get involved with these cults and these stuff like this, man. They feel like it's something that they feel like they should have, but they ain't getting. And instead of getting out here working a little harder and getting it, they get involved in all kinds of foolishness.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, man, it's another play with Trump, whatever that is. I don't know. I don't put a lot of attention on it. You know, I know it's something bigger than the things that he displayed. You know,
Oh, yeah.
People,
Oh yeah.
like, my uncle was talking about Trump, and I just, you know, when you make the statement that a person's an idiot or a person is this or that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always say, before you make that statement, make sure that you are well aware of what your position is in life and what their position is in life.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, so if you're a person that sits up and you say, that man's an idiot, he's in the White House, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you, the same person is making this statement, he working in the warehouse.
That's true.
So, me being the same individual, I'm gonna ask myself, like, damn, well, who's the idiot?
Now, I disagree with you on that, and the reason why I disagree with you on that is because there is a such thing as wealth being passed down to an idiot. You know, wealth.
Exactly.
Wealth.
You could turn a fool. You could make a fool rich. You are exactly right.
That's true.
But the only reason why, if you really take a person like Donald Trump, and I'm not saying I support him or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to take these people, you really have to examine their whole life. You really have to pay attention to the things that they have done.
Mm-hmm.
And when I made that statement to the person, it wasn't to put them down.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a run-in with the media before.
Okay.
So I know what they do.
Oh, yeah.
I know what the hell they do. So I know sometimes when they put stuff out, whether it be about Donald Trump, whether it be about a rapper, actor, whatever, sometimes I know, okay, it ain't what it is. And for whatever reason, whoever pulling the strings with Donald Trump, why they using him the way they using him, I don't know. It remains to be seen, but I know there's a bigger play. I know even right now with this pandemic, like, there's a bigger play.
It is. It is, and I've talked about it. Because I went back to the history of this. This goes back to the Civil War, and I had a long show going over the history of the Confederacy. I went over how our country never cut the head off the snake of the Confederacy. You see, every country we go into, we kill the leaders. We beat up on the population, but we go directly and find Hussein, Gaddafi, whoever the leader is of that country, we take him out. We never did that with the Confederacy. Them people got locked up for a year or two. They were forced to sign papers saying that they would never get back into government and they would never take up arms against the United States again. And they were sent back home to the South as heroes. These people got statues built of them, and you know because you're from Memphis, even in Memphis. So this has been a long play for these people. That's why when you said that, you said some $1 million words right there. It's something bigger than Trump, and it is. They've been plotting and scheming and planning on this whole securing the wealth for the white population for a long time. They just haven't had somebody in office like him that's gonna be with it. That's gonna, you know, whatever. You know, I'm with it. Let's get it. You know, and then another thing, it's like they went overseas during Obama's term and started getting comrades over there. The whole European push to what is it called, Brexit. All of that coincided with what was going on over here with Trump. People didn't catch their eye on that because they don't watch world news and study world news like I do, because I'm trying to do a political show. But I keep in tune to what's going on over there too. So that whole prime minister over there who loves Trump, them two people came in power at exactly the right time. They had ties with these Republican congressmen, used to go over there and do speeches. I mean, this like you said, this is bigger than Trump. It is. But I still
think about, like, do you play chess?
I do.
Chess at all? Okay, so you gotta think about all the plays that led up to this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way from the introduction of Bitcoin, all the way, like, even in the book Conspiracy of Credit, I spoke about digital currency. I spoke about speed of light money. When you put all the pieces in place to set that up for that to be able to happen, it gives you more control over the entire population of not just the United States, but of the world. So it cuts a lot of things out with people that's able to maneuver even with cash, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So when this, like I said, you won't see the effects of this until later. But this is one of the pieces being moved in the chess game.
It is.
Bitcoin was a chess piece being moved in the chess game.
That's like an internet currency.
Along with a lot of other things. So that's the reason why I say the things that people pay attention to, is other things that they should be paying attention to, as opposed to what the hell Trump tweeting about or
Oh yeah.
You know, all the other distractions, or being a sovereign citizen.
Right.
Like, you know.
It is. It's something bigger going on.
Yeah.
It's something bigger going on. And I really think this whole play to open up the country, because I don't think they can put this plan you talking about in effect unless this whole economic structure and the economics of the world is moving. You know, when you're talking about Bitcoin, that's a worldwide internet currency. So
Exactly.
You can't move this stuff if everything's shut down. So you know, Mother Nature dropped the bomb on these people, man, with this whole coronavirus thing. And now some of their plans that a lot of us don't know nothing about, some of us are guessing about. I really have a funny feeling, man, they willing to go ahead and sacrifice thousands of lives to get this economy back moving so they can put them plans.
They go sacrifice.
Yeah.
They go sacrifice thousands of lives, no doubt.
Yeah. And man, it's crazy, man. I want to talk about these books. We're coming to the end of the show, and
Okay.
I want to talk about these books, man. Which one was your first book? That was How to Outsmart the Credit Bureaus. Okay, now explain to me the progression of these books, and did you add more as you learned more, or was it? Did you feel like you had something that you just didn't put in the other ones? In other words, is it a progression?
Yeah, from the time that I wrote that book, How to Outsmart the Credit Bureaus, of course, I've learned a lot since then. So I have put new information in, like Conspiracy of Credit and the Unbreakable Laws of Business Credit and the Credit Dictionary.
Credit Dictionary.
But
That's the
at the
one.
same time,
That's the one
I
I was
don't
missing.
always. I have 4 books: the Unbreakable Laws of Business Credit, the Credit Dictionary, Conspiracy of Credit, How to Outsmart the Credit Bureaus, and I have 2 books that's done. I just hadn't put them out, and that's Credit is for poor people, and the other one is The Game of Credit. But even with these books, of course, I don't put everything in the books. Just like I can't talk about everything on a phone call or a radio show or a TV show or whatever. Or,
That's right.
Or, YouTube. So, but I do put enough information within the books that people can free themselves up. It's just a matter of them doing the work. Like, I know for me, I'm backing all the way up from even engaging people because that's at times it's been detrimental to me. For me, like to go and meet somebody, I went against something that I always preached, or I taught somebody that looked at me as a mentor. I would tell them always remain a mystery to people.
Okay.
And I went against it. When you don't remain a mystery to people and they feel like they know you and you engage them for any period of time, then you lose some of your mystique. You lose some of your power. That's why celebrities and entertainers and athletes have so much people look at them in awe sometimes because they really don't, because they haven't been able to really engage these people on a personal level.
Right.
They really don't even understand that they're just like me and you.
Right. Because when you see some of these people without that makeup on, man, they look a hot mess.
Well, if you have even if you have a conversation with them, you'll know they just like they normal human beings, but TV can magnify anybody.
Right.
YouTube can magnify anybody.
That's true. And now that you're speaking on that, I've had that personal experience, what you saying, in my life, to the point where it's like my truck drivers I know from Wyoming that I work with out there, from North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, people who I barely met over a cold bowl of soup. They support my show more than the 3,000 people that I have on my Facebook page that I've been knowing for years.
Right.
And just like what you just saying, it's like since they know you, it's like you got a talk show, man, But the people that's outside my personal space or my personal circle, they want to call in, they want to get the information, they want to tune in. I got almost 10,000 viewers, and I promise you, there's only about 500 that's actually my Facebook, that's on my Facebook page to watch my show. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, but that's just how it is, man. And I don't take nothing personal by it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I even told my old lady, man. Me and her, I told her that, because we done came off the streets. We was out here ganging and stuff like that, but we done stepped off the streets. But I stepped off years before she did, and I can tell she wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't ready to live a normal life in a nice big house. A couple of dogs in the backyard, a couple of cars. She was out there throwing it up, man. Throwing the set up and talking crazy to her homegirls and I'm like, man, we older now. This ain't what mature adults do no more. Leave that up to them kids. And I wanted to bring that point home, because the whole book thing, this is something that I want to get involved in, because like I said, I got 8 books in my desk right here that I got right now. They're science fiction and fantasy novels. I don't do political books and critic books and things like that. They're science fiction, but this is another avenue and to build wealth. But it's also it's hard for me to get it across to people because they look at me as being a black, being a minority, and they want me to do some hood books. I came from there. I don't want to do nothing about. I'd rather write about some elves and dwarves. I don't want to write about no damn dude down there raising pit bulls and selling dope out the back. I don't want to raise. I don't want to talk about nothing like that. I want to hit the population that's got that paper in their pocket. And yeah, So I want to know the whole publisher thing. How did you get into it, and who was your go-to person, like as far as the whole publishing thing? Did you self-publish?
Yeah, man, I actually created my own publishing company, man.
Oh, wow.
I did all the research myself. I was able to, back in the day, secure a position with Baker and Taylor. Like, they don't even deal with self-published authors, but they buy my books. But I practiced what I preached. I did all the research from A to B, like how do you go about publishing a book, and it's not hard. I already knew how to create a company. I created the company, and I gave the company the appearance that it was a bigger company than what it was. I stayed persistent and consistent with trying to get Baker and Taylor to even pick my book up, and this was years ago. We talking about over 15 years ago.
Okay.
And once they picked my book up, of course, being able to get it on Amazon, what happened with me, I'm not gonna lie, when I put the first book, it didn't really do nothing. Nobody didn't really know about it, but I didn't push it as hard. That was Hot Out Smart, the credit bureau. So I was off the scene. Like I from 2005 up until 2013, you didn't know about Corey P. Smith. I actually lost everything and had to go and get a job. But what happened was, when I put Conspiracy of Credit out, I wrote that book when I was working as a corrections officer over a 2-year period.
Okay.
That's when I wrote that book. And I was in a bad place in my life. I was like, man, this cannot be my life.
Okay.
I don't want this for my family and myself. And I had already had a taste of real money. When I say real money, I had already had a taste of having a couple of $1 million.
Right.
From utilizing shell corporations and, getting money from banks.
Right.
And testing the waters with investing in real estate, from California, Las Vegas, Tennessee, wherever the deals were at Florida. And I lost all of that. But what happened with the book situation, I did a YouTube interview with a guy. He has a real big following. And, man, the book got traction.
Okay.
And that interview I did got over 100,000 views. And once the book got traction, they started buying the other book. And then it just picked up from there. So now, like, over the last 2 years, consistently, like, my book checks, they don't do no less than $10,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
And that's
good.
nothing.
That's good.
So that's what happened with the whole book thing. And I thank God for that, because people write books, but they don't make no money off of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've been so hesitant, man, because I ran across a company that wanted to publish for me, but they were saying that I got to pay them $3,000. And
Black Card, is it a company called Black Card Books or something like that?
It was two, actually. It was a Christian book company.
Yeah.
And then it was another company, a little smaller company, man, but they was gonna put it on ebook, get my book sent to the Library of Congress. They were gonna do all the work for me, but I had to pay them on the front end. And then it's up to me to buy enough books to put them in the stores that they was gonna send them to.
Nah, hell no. You do your work on the front end for free.
And that's what I
as far
wanted.
as, like,
That's what I wanted.
you,
I wanted a deal like that, but they saying that book companies are straying away from that model. They're moving away from.
No. What I mean by that, you put your own book out.
Okay.
You put your own book out. Like when you say what's been holding you back, you gotta think about it, Marcus. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose if you put it out and it don't get traction? What have you lost?
Oh, same. I'm
You-
going the same way. I mean, I'm still in business. I still got my show. I still work.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah.
And you keep grinding. Like you keep grinding. Like, listen, I have not done anything. This is the first time that I hopped on a podcast or anything in a minute. I want to say almost a year. I have not done it. I shut down my Instagram page. I haven't done nothing on Facebook for the last 6 months.
Okay.
I haven't done nothing on YouTube. But here's the thing: my books, they still selling.
Right. I mean, man, you and you so relatable though. You know what I'm saying? Because when I first seen your story, I was like, man, this guy right here, man, he know what he talking about, and he's relatable. Cause I think you did an interview where you told somebody asked you about the same question I asked you, the difference between the credit bureaus, and you start going into the history of them. I said, ooh, that brother know what he talking about. You know what I'm saying?
And I just say that to you to say, I'm saying it not to be boastful, but I'm just telling you, man, you can do it. It's just a matter of just doing it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, it'll pick up, like, and when you do it, man, you gotta believe, like, man, you gotta believe it.
Yeah. I think my biggest problem is not me. Like I was telling you earlier, my biggest problem is family, and especially my old lady, my wife, man. She, like I said, man, I've been trying to lead, but sometimes, man, you can't. Sometimes, man, you can't lead a horse to water if they don't want to drink. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me tell you this. I've been married, man, 16 years, right? I've been with my wife over 20, right?
Okay.
And here's the thing. You gonna get that from the people that's closest to you, because I can say the same thing about my wife. My wife is stubborn. Like, it ain't always been perfect. Like, me or her, we not perfect. But she don't look at me. She loves me, but she don't look at me through the same eyes that somebody who picks up one of my books or hear me do an interview, or not even my kids. Like, they just, that's with anybody. You could be the biggest celebrity or biggest athlete in the world. You're gonna get there. Like, your wife, your kids, they never gonna look at you through those same eyes, because you close to them.
Right.
And that's why you so close to them. That's why I always give this analogy when I say inconvenience is a privilege. Your girlfriend is probably one of the few people that can inconvenience you on any level.
And she is.
I can't. I can't pick up the phone and call you at 3 o'clock in the morning or get you to come and do this or do this. That's not gonna happen. Even if we really been knowing each other for years, but she can.
Right.
So, like her, she's not gonna look at you the same. And you can't take offense to it, and you can't get caught in your emotions, because I was doing it even when it came to my wife. Like, my wife don't listen to, like, she might glance at a YouTube video, but she don't look at them. She is just not their way.
I don't even think is my thing is, when it comes to my old lady and my family, I try to instill the sense of business in them. Like that. It ain't necessarily even how they have to look at me personally. I really don't care about that. It's that I know wealth building, cause I'm gonna tell you why. I used to date a Mexican, okay, when I was in Texas. And I watched how her family generated their wealth. When they first came here, they stayed in one house, 2 families. They had like 12 kids in there. She told me. And I seen the house they stayed in, because one of the families still live there. They started a concrete company, and once they built up so much money, they had 2 brand new trucks in the yard. One of the family moved out, and I seen how they came together and generated wealth. And I told my family, I said, man, when I be around people like that I see, you know, the powerful force that if everybody would just pay attention, do what you got to do, and handle your business instead of straying off. You know, some people stray off. They stray off that path, man, and you like, man, damn. And then it costs you money. You know, it costs you money. Like, I got a nephew. Yeah, I love him to death, but I had to get him and my daughter out of trouble at one time. And I'm like, man, y'all breaking my pockets. You know, so it's like you can't. Sometimes, man, people you love the most, man, you try to help them and stray them on that path, man, and they keep jumping off that path, man. But you see other people and other nationalities and other races and things like that, they doing it. They sacrifice on the front end to live crowded. But now my ex down in Texas, man, she down in Midland. Man, her pops got a big old 5-6 bedroom house, man. I'm talking about got the fountain in the front yard. And when I seen the shack that they lived in when they first came here, bro, they did this in 5 years. You know, 5 years. That's all it took. And I know we can do it too. But I appreciate you, man. You've been a big blessing to me and to the people for my show. And like I said, you welcome to come back anytime. Anytime. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep in contact with you periodically. Anything you put out, man, you got free advertising here. You send me a picture of your book cover or something like that, and I'll throw it in one of my commercials in between my show, in between my segments, or I even post it on my YouTube. Matter of fact, I'm already an Amazon affiliate anyway, so you know I'm already gonna put you. I'm gonna put your link to your book under my up under this video, so people who want to find it, they can click on it and go purchase your books. And I want you to plug yourself in and letting people know where they can reach you at.
I could be reached on my public Facebook page is Corey P. Smith. My books, you can buy them anywhere. You can buy them Amazon.com. You can buy them Walmart.com, Target, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble. Like pretty much anywhere books are sold. Audible, you want the auto book,
right?
You want the audio version of it. You know, you can download it through Kindle and get it anywhere you can buy a book. You can find my books there. And
you do have a credit building company or some kind of company that you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it, and I just shut it down because I'm really like restructuring.
Okay.
A lot of things in my life.
Okay.
In terms of how I'm going to like just engage the public period. You know.
Okay.
I'm more so leaning towards digital products, meaning courses, more books, selling information.
Okay.
And in-person training, but for small groups and not on the individual level. So that's the reason why I just got closed it down.
Okay.
But I mean, the new book, Credits for Poor People, I've been saying I'm put it out since the beginning of the year, but people, man, when I do put it out, I think it's probably the best book that I've ever wrote.
Okay.
And people would not be disappointed. Like, I ain't holding no punches in the book. Like, I gave game.
Okay.
Like how I talked about the Airbnbs. Like, I gave away more games. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm eventually pick up these books, man. I spent the last week, because like I said, I'm a truck driver, so I really can't just watch videos while I'm out there over the road. But what I do is, in order for me to focus on my show that I do Sundays, I'll sit down your audio while I'm driving, and I'll listen, to what's going on. And man, you really got it, man. And from coming from Memphis to where you are now, brother, you got it. And I'm glad that you out here helping people, man, achieve that too. We need more people in the minority community to do that, because, like I said, we are falling behind, man. But I'm gonna end this show, man, and like I said, my phone is always open to you. Now, like you said, you can't call at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning unless it's a house fire. Unless it's a house fire, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know that? Okay, I'm cool with that. But hit my line anytime, man, and I'm gonna keep in contact with you. Anything new you put out, man, let me know, and I got you, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to let all my people out there know this is the Daily Read. And we out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.